Right, and so this was around the Flint debate where he used the phrase, that they live in the ghetto. Now Sanders, I was actually in Flint, and I was in Flint, and then I went to Detroit, and he clarified it on Fox, the Fox Brett Baer special, town hall. But here's the thing. Now, these mothers have backed Hillary Clinton for a long time, and I honestly understand where they're coming from. I mean, that's not necessarily the term that I would use, and what Bernie Sanders clarified by saying, what I meant to say is when you talk about the ghetto traditionally, what you're talking about is the African American communities. But that is a really bad stereotype connected with the African American community.
See, I'm honestly surprised he clarified in that way, because I think historically a ghetto can almost be a place where a group of people of low income reside, and that's just a general term, and I'm surprised he clarified it as a specific racist thing.
Well, I mean, I just think that what we've seen over time, I think common culture and stereotypes would have it that when you say ghetto, you're referring to African Americans. I mean, if that wasn't the case, then you would call the trailer park the ghetto.
Yeah, which I think you could at the same time. I feel like, honestly, personally, when I hear the word ghetto, I don't even associate it with black culture. This could be the same reason why Sanders brought it up in the first place, is because it's hard to speak on behalf of something you've never experienced
and I think
personally.
that's exactly right. I think neither Hillary or Sanders have experienced what it is to be black in America. So, but I understand where these mothers are coming from in the attack on Bernie Sanders and saying, listen, just don't say comments like that, because they come off as very, not racist, but they're prejudiced and they might be racial.
Yeah.
Right.
Racial is definitely the best way to put it personally, I think. I think it shouldn't come off either way. It should just be a direct point in the matters for protecting people's lives in all sorts of situations.
I mean, I think it would have been better for him to say something like, listen, we live in a society where in certain communities the police target African Americans. I mean, you got to be Here's the thing. I give his campaign a lot of credit for really coming out of nowhere and really, holding Hillary Clinton's feet to the fire. And I know the Field of Burn people are going to get all pissed off at me. But I think it's obvious, the polls tell us he has some work to do in the African American community. And that means not using words like this. This didn't help his case at all.
I don't know. I'm still surprised by that, because I know personally on my social media feeds, I've seen a lot of new pictures of Bernie from when he was younger, fighting for civil rights movements when it was not a thing to do. It was hard to go out of your way and risk yourself to being they were really criticized for those actions.
No, I hear you, and I think what you're hearing from black folk is that where has he been all this time?
Yeah.
Right, we've been dealing with so much turmoil in our community. Now that you're running for president, you're in Baltimore, and you're like, where were you when we quote unquote needed you? Is I think what you're hearing from the black community, and that is an honest criticism. I know the Feel the Burn people are going to onslaught on me and say how wrong I am, but there's some truth there, y'all. Bernie saying, not saying that Hillary Clinton is better.
Yeah, I was going to say, so do you think Hillary Clinton was there when it was necessary?
Well, I think what Hillary Clinton is benefiting from, number one, especially in the South, that she's benefiting from her husband. Yeah. And I mean, he wasn't great for black people, but when he was president, black people viewed him very favorably. And I think the other thing she benefits from, she's been around for so long, you've seen her at all the marches and all the events that are sort of quote unquote connected to black culture. And I think what Bernie's going to have to do is he's really going to start having penetrating real conversations with communities of color, and has to go beyond just the system is rigged, the 1% getting money out of politics. Yes, that is true, and yes, we need to take money out of politics, but guess what? If you take money out of politics tomorrow, black young men in Chicago will still be shot by police. Take the money. Take all the money out of politics you want.
But that's still not going to make
sense. And you take all the money out of politics you want, there'll still be structural racism. Not saying that Hillary Clinton has an answer to it, but I'm saying that you can't just go back to your main talking point. The criminal justice system is broken. You've got to start having real, penetrating, vulnerable conversations with this community if you want to bring them on board.
Yeah, it's still frustrating to me because all of it is such a facade at the same time, because who knows what Bernie Sanders has been doing for the last few years, because who's actually been following him? When was his name in the news? When was he doing anything? And I like that about a candidate, because I kind of hate when someone's been in the forefront pretending to do things that actually matter when they don't. And I think that's what Hillary Clinton does all the time. She tends to put herself in the forefront of situations so that she can be a face.
I hear that. I mean, I guess. I mean, like I said, I haven't endorsed. I'm just being fair to all candidates. But I mean, I think there's places where Hillary Clinton has clearly led, right? I mean, you think about 9/11, and after 9/11, she was the woman that went down there and said, we need to get money for these 9/11 first responders. When you think about the DREAM Act, it was first introduced by Hillary Clinton in the Senate, blah, 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 blah. But I think the people out there, they don't feel that she's been around enough.
Yeah.